to Sound Pollution. Did you like our new intro music? Because we do. That is courtesy of our good friend Brooks of York. His link tree will be in the description section. And we are super grateful that he lent us some new music for our intro. This week I interview a member of the band Mean Gloss and learn all about how they got together, the members of the band, writer's block, songwriting, and a whole lot more. This band is going to be going places. We hope that you enjoy this episode, and please remember to click those links below. Little live album you did? Like 3-track. Listen to it. So good. Is that what you guys really sound live? That was really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We kind of called it Live Enough because it was like, we mixed this, and like we recorded this like weeks ago, and you're listening to it like, so we thought that we would be like clever about the name of it, but it was live. Yeah.
So welcome to the show. Sorry that it started off kind of jumpy around like that. I appreciate you being here. And again, I'm sorry our co-host couldn't be here. That sucks, but it is what it is. So how did Mean Gloss get together?
So we went to the same high school, but we didn't start playing music together until university. We went to Queen's University, and Kingston, Ontario has like a great music scene. And we were both playing in different bands and sort of got to know each other better. And then we started playing in the same band. And that was like our first collaboration. It was this band called Bo Welland. And yeah, then when COVID happened, kind of killed that band a little bit because we couldn't go into recording studios and we couldn't play live at venues. So, and then it went on for so long, like everyone moved on with their life. So it was kind of over after COVID, but we had like proof that our collaboration was good. So when the restrictions started to ease up a little bit, we sort of got together and said like, yeah, let's work on an album together. And that was the beginning of Mean Gloss.
And what's the name about?
The name, Joe thought of it actually, and there was this old song from like I think it was from the 90s, but it was inspired by music of the 60s. It was called Ethel Tripped a Mean Gloss, and it was about somebody who like had a really bad drug trip or something like that, to the point where they started talking in tongues. And it was banned from Kingston, Ontario, actually. So it sort of felt appropriate. Like, that's where we started doing music. And there was this band that had this song called Ethel Tripped a Mean Gloss. And so we decided we can make that our band name. Kind of obscure.
Yeah, I was wondering. I always look up the names of bands in Google and kind of see what pops up. And I saw that exact thing pop up. I was like, I got to know.
Is there some relation?
I am so sorry. So weird without him being like, wait, I have a question.
No worries.
So you already have 2 albums out.
We've got one full album out, and we're working on our second now, but it won't be out until later this year. We don't have a date yet, but yeah, we are working on our second one now.
So there seemed to be an overall theme of the first album. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so there was a theme. When we first got together and had the idea to make the album, we were kind of a little bit frustrated, I think, with the music industry and like not super satisfied with the past work that we had released.
Okay.
And I think, part of our frustration was like that there's sort of this pressure within the industry to do certain things, like to write a song that's catchy and to make a video on social media or whatever. And I feel like a lot of that stuff started to sort of get in the way of like us making the kind of music that we wanted to make.
Okay.
And so we both had this feeling of like being a little bit frustrated by that. When we decided to make the album together, we decided we were just going to make the album and then worry about all that music business stuff later.
Okay.
But that sort of informed the concept. So the concept of the album, it was called Bullshit, and it was about sort of inauthenticity and trying to stay true to yourself, sort of like a coming of age problem.
I caught that, especially with the song Pander. As somebody who has known a lot of people in the music industry and people who have tried to succeed and haven't, pander felt like a giant middle finger to all the corporate people. And I just was curious, is that sort of what that was? Just kind of like, I'll give you what you want, but it's not going to be what you really want.
Yeah, that was sort of the idea for the song. Like, we wanted to make something that was about bullshit, about trying to stay true to yourself. And we sort of caught ourselves thinking like, oh, well, what's the first single going to be? We decided, oh, we need to write a song that is like easy to listen to and that like a record executive would like. And so then we actually wrote like really kind of basic formulaic song, which ended up being Pander. And we made the lyrics about trying to be what somebody else wants you to be. So like, there's the line like, all my rewrites written for you, all my insights given on cue. And it's sort of the story about somebody who tries to do what somebody else wants and ends up losing sight of themselves. And I think that's sort of how I had felt sometimes with making music in the past, was like I tried to do that. And not only did it not work, I wasn't proud of the work either. Like,
right. So it's not your best work when it feels fairly forced.
Yeah. So that was sort of the idea for the song. Yeah, we're sort of pandering to what somebody else wants us to be. But then in the end, we ended up making something that we were proud of. So, but yeah, it was fun to do that kind of thing because it became like a bit performative, where we had the irony was the fact that we were doing it. Like, so we had written this song that was basic and formulaic, and it was sort of like supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you're going to be carrying into the next album, though? That same sort of, or is it going to be all new? Is there going to be new sound? What are you guys thinking?
So we're working on like sort of in line with the idea of like not following anybody's advice.
Okay.
One advice that we've gotten a lot is, in an algorithmic world, you need to have a clear like identity, and you need to find your niche and just like consistently be in that space, and then you'll find your people. And so sort of in line with the not following any of that advice, we decided like, let's make something totally different now that like no one would expect. So for the past year or so, since we started to think about releasing music, we've had this sort of ironic brand where things are like everything's satire and it's all about bullshit. Mm. And now we're sort of transitioning to this different phase where it's going to be totally different. So where bullshit kind of had like a vintage inspired sound, this new album is going to have more of like a modern sound. So less like real drums, more drum loops, less trying to sound like a band, more trying to sound like we're from a different world or a different universe kind of thing. So that's the sonically and musically the direction that we're taking it in. And then in terms of the themes and the lyrics, so where bullshit was like ironic and satirical and very much like about like a social criticism kind of thing, this is going to be more like otherworldly, philosophical.
I would say you're already pretty philosophical with your lyrics.
Yeah.
And on the lyric train, I just wanted to ask, they're very poetic. Now, do you free write those, or do you guys kind of get together and go, this is the outline, this is what we're going to be talking about? Or are they like poems that you kind of move into the music? Because it feels very poems working into it feels very Jim Morrison to me.
Okay.
In a great way. In a great way.
Well, thank you. I think it always, the answer is that it's always different.
Okay.
Like for some of the songs, Joe and I have sort of sat down and like decided we should write a song about this topic, and we already have the music, and so then it's a matter of like just coming up with words to the music. And then other times, it sort of starts with the words, like just something that just I really like these words, and now I have to find music that will work with these words. So sometimes it goes the lyrics first, sometimes it goes the music first, sometimes it starts with the concept, and sometimes it just starts with the subconscious. Because I feel like, I like to have a concept with every song. some like overarching idea, something that tells me where it's supposed to go. But I find that a lot of the times you need that moment of like unexplained intuition to get things started. So I think a lot of times the songs start with just like a random kind of pleasant sounding words and lyrics. And then it's a very intellectual task to go afterwards and sort of make it into the thing that you want it to be. Because you've got the subconscious supplying you with like some basis for the song. And then you go in and do the hard work of actually making it into a song that conveys the meaning you want. So I would say that there's been no one way that we've done it.
So you're just, sometimes it's a concept, sometimes it's lyrics, sometimes it's Joe's like, I've got a riff. Now there's also 2 other people in the band. So let's talk about them as well.
Yeah, Jacob and Sean. So they're not really like full members of the band, but we played live with them and they were great. They're both really talented musicians, and they were down to help us out. So Jacob, actually the drummer, he recorded drums on maybe 3 or 4 of the songs on the first album, Bullshit. But we also had other drummers in the studio, Dan Kiss and Justin Verall, 2 other drummers who came to play with us. So sort of the thing that's been constant is Joe and I always in the band, always producing the music. And then we've had other people in our circle come help. Yeah, it's been nice because we have this studio, which
looks great.
I'm currently sitting in. And so we kind of built a bit of a community, like Jacob, who played live with us and recorded on some of the album. Like he is always just around. We've worked with him on other projects. He was part of Joe's old band, Jimbo. So it's been great. The fact that we just have like lots of people around supporting us.
He looked familiar.
He was in Jimbo. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's nice because even though they're not really fully part of the band, like they're part of this community that we've got. So
they're part of the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back that far, I mean, you were in high school together and then you kind of started playing around with music, and now you're doing this project.
Yeah.
Did it just sort of happen, or like you said, you've always kind of been hanging out and writing together, or did you guys go, we just need to do this?
Well, I think Joe, when he first got to, I was a year older than him. I still am. And at Queens, when he got there, I was already playing in a band. And I think for him, like to see someone that he knew already doing that, it was like, that was a big deal. It's sort of like empowering for him, like he can do it too. And so I think we always had that kind of like from the very beginning, that kind of tie together. And then, yeah, as time passed, like lots of people that we were working with, they kind of stopped doing music, or they stopped doing it at the level that we wanted to do it. And in a way, we were sort of like the last people standing. Like, so by the time that we were like 25, I think a lot of the people that we used to be working with weren't doing it anymore, and we sort of were like, okay, we got to do this, just the 2 of us.
That continues as you get older.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm the last one standing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But the fun thing about that, though, is that like now we sort of have become more self-sufficient too, like not relying on other people so much. Like that's been really empowering. Because, it used to be that we would go into a studio and sort of like it's already expensive to be there, and
oh man,
we don't know how like recording and mixing works. So like we sort of just come into this place and we have limited time and limited control, and we just sort of allow somebody to do whatever they think is best. And that sort of contributed to this feeling that we always had of like not really being fully satisfied with the recordings that we produced. Whereas now it's sort of, I think the pressure was on us. It was like, if we're going to do this, we have to like do everything. We really have to like, from conception of an idea to sending it to Spotify, like we have to learn every step of this process. And that's what's been really fun about the studio and about learning more about that. So it's been nice.
And having access to be able to record that quickly, that's also really nice. Like having the access to the studio and not having to go, okay, I got to find studio time. Oh, I got to pay for studio to all that. That's a big roadblock for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Has that made you guys write more?
Yeah, it's way more satisfying
Just like
because it's like, we released a song called Wonder Why, which is from the new album,
which I want to talk about next. Go ahead.
And the whole, like, that was the fastest from like when I started writing the song to when we published it. Like, I'm going to say it was 2 months or something like that, which may sound like a long time, but for us, that was crazy. It was like, I'm more used to sort of coming up with an idea and not finishing it for like a year and then recording it and like revising it and doing all the stuff. But with this, it's felt way better. It's like the idea is fresh, the inspiration is still, the spark is still there. Mm-hmm. Let's record it while the inspiration is here, and then just not even overthink it too much. Let's just put it out. So it's been a lot more satisfying to work this way.
Let's talk about Wonder Why, which was released a couple months ago. It has like a psychedelic vibe, a heavy bass guitar. Again, the very poetic lyrics. I really like the line, "So long as you're afraid." I felt like it. Said earlier, the lyrics always kind of felt very Doorsy to me, but also it sounds very. There's like an Oasis sort of vibe, and I caught that before you sent that email. So, are you really influenced by like the '90s indie rock? Because I can hear it. I definitely hear it.
Yeah.
And I like that combination. It makes a nice sound.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think Joe and I would both sort of say that, well, I can't speak for Joe, but yeah, I love like the 60s. That's like my bread and butter. And whenever we're recording a song, we always go and listen to like 10 songs, like whether it's the Doors, the Beatles, or Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some Floyd feel.
So I think, love that music, and also love sort of like the 90s, early 2000s kind of indie music. But it's funny with Oasis, because I do love Oasis, but I feel like we have tried very deliberately in some cases to be like, oh, let's take this from the Doors, or let's take this from Pink Floyd or whatever. Mm-hmm. But with Oasis, I feel like we've never really done that, and
it's not intentional.
Unintentionally, we sound like them.
Yeah, that's funny. No, but I definitely heard it.
Lots of people have said that.
What's that song about?
Wonder Why? It's so sort of in line with the idea for this next album, which we're working on, which is called Supernature. The sort of themes of the album, it's all going to be about, human nature, morality, ideals, like myths and sort of spirituality and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm sort of dubbing Supernature. Like, whether it's a song about morality, or whether it's a song about like the afterlife or whatever, that it's going to have that kind of that link. And so on this song, it's a lot about sort of why should someone be moral? Why should someone care about morality? And so there's these lines about, I can see the light behind shallow, illusory human life. And the idea is that, like, there's something deeper than just chasing your pleasures, just pursuing your self-interest. There's something deeper that you should actually be afraid of. Because upon a judgment day, you're going to have to face the fact that, morality matters, and you'll pay for what you do in this life. And so that's sort of the one worldview that's presented. But ultimately, the song kind of questions that, and accuses that kind of worldview of also being guided by self-interest. So on the one hand, you have like egoists who just pursue their own self-interest without caring about morality. And on the other hand, you have people who are God-fearing, and they both sort of have an answer to this question of whether to be moral and why to be moral. And so the song just sort of explores like two of those kind of perspectives, and whether any of those give us any reasons to be moral. And so that's sort of what the song's about.
what you're fighting for. Pleasures of the earth, selling out your soul. Stupid, selfish, unworthy goal is what you're fighting for. That's why they call your name. Yeah. So why aren't you afraid of what will come your way upon a judgment day? It doesn't make you brave. Why aren't you afraid? I can see the light behind shallow, illusory human life. Journey of the soul. All the glory and power and honor is yours. That's what I'm heading toward. That's why you live in vain. Yeah. So why aren't you afraid of what will come your way upon a judgment day? It doesn't make you brave. Why aren't you afraid? Just following an instinct, seeking out an interest. It doesn't make one difference. Why aren't you afraid? Why am I wasting my life? I can't help but wonder why. Am I meant to be terrified? I can't help but wonder why. So long as you're afraid of what will come your way upon a judgment day, it doesn't make you brave. As long as you're afraid, you're just following an instinct and seeking out an interest. It doesn't make you different. So long as you're afraid.
What do you love about music? What drew you to music?
That's a good question. What drew me to music? I think it's a lot of things. First off, just being like touched by great works of art. Like I feel that so many of my favorite artists have just given me some kind of feeling that I don't fully understand, that I haven't really been able to get out of anything else. And it's like a drug. And so, and it feels, like when you have an experience like that of like the sort of deep power of music, it's like, it sort of feels like it's indispensable. There's not some other thing that I could replace music with. Like, this is it. And so for me, it's like I've had all these beautiful experiences of listening to other people's music and just being inspired by that. And I think that's sort of how anybody sort of gets into music at first, like when somebody else has some creation that really touches you. And so,
is there one in particular that stands out to you?
Something that really touched me?
Yeah.
There's lots, but maybe like the song Weird Fishes by Radiohead. I don't know what it is about that song. It just
that's a good one.
Just makes me cry. Like,
yeah.
And there's lots like that.
Did it make you stop?
I'm almost afraid to say something because then I'm like tied to being. I'm tied to that answer.
No, because you change as you grow. You're never tied to that answer.
Because when I was young, when I was young, like I loved sort of the Beatles and Beach Boys and 60s music, which I continue to love.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was a teenager, I got really into, the Strokes and bands like the Libertines. And they really made me want to actually be like in a band. Like that was sort of like seeing these people who did it not so long ago, who make sort of simple music that I think I could make, sort of showed me like, oh, that's something that I want to do. Whereas the Beatles sort of just introduced me to like how amazing music could be. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's been a lot of things. I love classical music. It doesn't need to have words, but words can make it really good. Yeah.
Right on. Let's talk about Mothership, which you just released.
Yeah, less than a week actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Friday.
The line, "All I've got is a lousy reason to crawl back to the mothership,"
was like so good. That is such a good line. The guitar riff is amazing.
Yeah, this one is sort of similar kind of themes as the whole album, and because the whole album's basically written, sort of building on some of these themes about like morality and like there's this line that we're tuned up to this world in different ways. You've got a moral fact, and so it's sort of spoken from this perspective of like cold detachment, where I'm not emotional about the world in the way that the person who I'm talking to is, and they've got a moral fact because they're angry about things. They feel empathy. They feel all these human emotions that tell us what's important. Whereas I'm just some cold, detached alien. And that's sort of the image that I wanted to evoke, is this idea of like emotional detachment and how that relates to what we care about and what kind of things are important to us.
It's a really, really good song. I listened to it twice.
Thank you.
We're tuned up to this world in different ways. You got a moral fact, and I've got a one-way track back to the mothership, back to be born again. Am I cold as ice? Are you a burning fire? I'm going back on my own again. I'm not scared. I'm not anything. So now you gotta show me the error of my ways, 'cause you got a moral fact, and all I've got's a lousy reason to crawl back to the mothership, back to be born again. Did you ask me nice? Did you cast me aside? I'm going back on my own again. I'm not scared. We're not anything at all.
And of course, I went back and listened to some of your other stuff, and I can't recommend it enough to the listeners. It's so nice to hear the balance of what like the new music, the dream pop, the shoegazy sound with like those older vibes, and you guys really mesh them together really nicely. I also know that Joe can shred.
Yes.
I've fucking seen it. I was like, oh, what if it's all like just a studio? It's not.
Well, he's an interesting musician because he is. Yeah, he's very talented. He can actually do everything. And
you're really, really good on the synth too. And the keyboard.
Oh, thank you.
I noticed you. I know, like, you're really good. What brought you to that instrument?
Yeah, I never really played keys very much until about a year and a half ago. That's when I really got into it. Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't doing it earlier. That's all I can say. Is
because you look very at home. You look like, oh, I've been playing this forever. Like it's just an extension.
Yeah, it was really a bit of a revolution for me because, we were working on this album and I wrote most of the things on guitar. Mm-hmm. And then when I started like playing keys more seriously and I started playing the songs on piano or organ or whatever it is, I just saw them in a totally different light. And it sort of was like I was writing the song all over again. Like I had so many new ideas. So it really helped me to like see things from a different perspective. And as a songwriter, right, that's like so valuable because that's sort of how, like, you know, I play these instruments, but I sort of see myself more as like using them to write songs, rather
You're a
than
songwriter.
Like, yeah. And so to have that like that ability to just go onto another instrument and have a totally different perspective on a song is so valuable. And so, yeah.
So how many instruments do you play? Just the two? 3?
Well, I'm mostly guitar and keys, but I mean, does it count to say I play bass or to say that I play piano and organ? I play like guitar.
It kind of does, yeah. It counts. Yeah,
but it's cool. It's cool with modern keyboards because you can just get one keyboard and it does everything. So
yeah.
So even though you have to learn each sound on its own, like you can't just play the same thing on each different thing. The fact that you have it all there is like pretty amazing. I've become a huge keyboard nerd. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So do you like keyboard more than guitar?
I'm definitely in a phase right now where like that's my instrument. Yeah. Like, and it's cool too because you know, like now like when I write something on keyboard, and then I'm trying to sort of play. Oh, maybe I should play something on guitar for this section. And then I transfer it to guitar. It really feels like I could never have come up with this on guitar. It just feels like everything that I want to do is so like unnatural, that I should do is so unnatural on guitar, but it came so naturally on keyboard. So it's interesting.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was just curious. I took some keyboard classes in college and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is for me.
It's fun once you get past that.
Okay, so I don't want to keep you too long. We're already going on 40 minutes and it started out rough and it's really my fault. I'm really sorry. What do you do for writer's block?
Oh, God. I wish I knew because I get writer's block all the time and I really suffer from it. The best thing, the songs that I feel the best about are the ones where I wrote them all at once. I feel that you really have to capitalize on that inspiration whenever it strikes, because it becomes so much harder to inhabit that same inspiration later.
Circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it when I get a lyric and I'm like waiting tables. I'm like at work and I'm like, oh, that'll be so good. And then I put it in my phone and then I like try to go back to it 3 days later. I'm like, fuck, it's gone. And then you can't come back sometimes.
Another thing that I find about it is like, or maybe part of the reason why you get writer's block when you don't finish it straight away is that, in your brain, you sort of limit what it can be. Like there's this beautiful thing about when you're in the moment of inspiration, when you haven't made any decisions yet. And so you go in all kinds of directions and it's a bit confusing and it's like oh, it needs to, it can't be 20 different things. It needs to just be a couple things. But then once you sort of have decided like on generally how the song goes, now you're just trying to fit things into something that you've already like limited so much. And so I think one tip is like that I usually have is if you think that you're struggling with the words, sometimes it's not just the words. It's like maybe you need to be willing to open up that door again of like, I'm going to change the chords and I'm going to change the melody and or something else crazy could happen. And then if you do decide to open up that door again, I find that the ideas can start coming back. And so that's what I try to do sometimes. If I'm struggling for words, I try to just change the other things and then see if more words can come.
Okay. And last question, where can our listeners find you?
On all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, wherever you listen to music.
Is there a social media you guys use more often?
Yeah,
like you engage more with?
I'd say follow us on Instagram or YouTube. Those are the two big ones. We can't do. We're not suited for TikTok.
You're not suited for TikTok. I'm not suited for TikTok. I hate it. I tried. I'm like, look, I'm hiking and listening to a song. Hi, like I can't.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I feel like it's not really set up for like for musicians to succeed that much. Like, I think.
But you still kind of have to be there, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, this was all the stuff that we were frustrated with when we made Bullshit. That was all.
See how we circled back.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yes, and you should go listen to Bullshit. Well, Jack, thank you so much. I'm sorry that it started out rocky and we were missing somebody, but it was a great interview. It's going to be so easy to edit, which is even better. It'll sound less janky. And I will send you an email and I will let you know that it's out, and I will send you links that it's out. And I would like to have you on the show again in like a year to kind of see how you guys have grown.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for meeting. That was great.
Awesome. It was great. Thank you.
That's what Joe said. Joe was like, we need sound pollution. They asked the best questions.
I know, and we're missing half the questions, so I have to have you back because Brent will be like at minute 112, you did this thing, and I just listened to it, and I'm like, I see colors and stuff when I listen to music, so I go in this direction, and he goes in the guitar player direction and the songwriter direction, and it's like really cool.
Thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight. Y'all guys take care of yourselves, and you're gonna get to experience some really cool stuff this season, and we just appreciate your time. And just remember, when you're out there, remember to make
some noise.